This one did kind of actually surprise me more than anything. I'm not going to lie. But I think this move by the Maple Leafs is indicative of them not wanting to play Hildeby more than anything. But yes, the Maple Leafs are going to be playing Matt Murray in today's game against the Buffalo Sabres, and we're going to cover that today. Now, the first thing, like I just said, I want to start with Dennis Hildeby. He has not been that good in my opinion. I know we've all been excited about Dennis Hildeby in general, his size and things like that. He absolutely has some benefits. I'm not going to lie about that. The problem is he's almost like, I don't know, he reminds me of like a Jonas Gustafsson. He doesn't look like he can keep up with an NHL play. For example, in that game that he was in goal, he looked like he gave up a couple of shots that he should not have given up. You know what I mean? Like an NHL goalie would be able to stop those shots. So I'm just concerned about his development. I am not convinced that he is an NHL goalie, at least right now. To be an NHL goalie, you need to be able to keep up with the speed of an NHL game. And I just don't foresee that that's what he is. Again, that could change. Me and my personal opinion, if you want to talk about goalie prospects, I would say I'm much more excited about the Russian kid that they have down there. Arthur Akhtiamov, I believe his name is incredibly hard to pronounce, but he has good KHL stats, he's got good AHL stats. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be good, but it does mean that it is promising, if you understand what I mean. When it comes down to Matt Murray, he had bilateral hip surgery, which is a pretty major surgery. It kept him out pretty much the entire year. When he's been in the NHL, though, he's had some ups and downs. Even in his last 2 years in Pittsburgh, he had an .899 save percentage and an .893, which, it isn't that horrible, but you would hope for better than that. When he played for the Leafs last, and I believe 22-23, he had about a .903 save percent average. And let's not forget that he actually played 26 games in that year. That's a lot. I didn't even know. I couldn't even remember that he even played that much for the Leafs in 22-23, and he was above league average. Now, you can make the argument that when he played, he had a bunch of good games that were holding up bad games. He tends to be a little inconsistent in the crease, where he'll have he'll have a handful of good games and then a bunch of bad games. It's just inconsistent performances. You could do a lot worse with your third string goalie. I will say that. And with the uncertainty of Anthony Stolarz, I think that this is the best that we're going to get. I actually do think that this is the best decision by the Toronto Maple Leafs. But again, from the Leafs' point of view, what they're probably thinking is that their young goalies just aren't ready right now. So that, it's certainly a better decision to make from that point of view. If they're not ready, just keep them down in the American Hockey League. Same with Fraser Minton. You know what I mean? Could he keep on playing in the National Hockey League? Sure, absolutely. I think he genuinely could play if he wanted to, but no, you got to keep him in the AHL. He needs to play a good amount of games. Now, obviously, like anything else, I'm going to be speaking the truth with, the biggest thing that has always worried me is the Leafs goalie's health. You have Anthony Stolarz, who has injury history. You have Joseph Woll, who has injury history. And Matt Murray, that just had bilateral hip surgery. So, these guys, might not be reliable, and they don't want to play their young guys. you might have to. Like, you know, what if Matt Murray gets an injury? I mean, he played in the Marlies game about a week ago. He actually recently got a shutout, by the way. By the way, Matt Murray has like a .931 save percentage. Save percentage in the American Hockey League. He's been really, really good. But he actually tweaked something with the Marlies about a week before that, and I was like, oh no, because I've been keeping an eye on the Maple Leafs goalies just to see how they've been performing, and you know, that one worried me. Now, bilateral hip surgery is a major, major, major surgery, obviously. So I'm going to be keeping I haven't actually watched many Marlies games this year, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on how his actual movement is from side to side, dropping into the butterfly. I'm not necessarily a goalie expert, but I can at least keep an eye on just basic things of their movement. And, you know, he should be able to keep up with an NHL play and an NHL shot. I'm not that worried about that. Like, if you notice Dennis Hildeby, when he gets an NHL shot, it's clearly moving too fast for him. You know what I mean? Like, those shots that he let by, I think he played Buffalo, he just clearly couldn't keep up with the speed of the shot. And then that's the major issue. Like, can you keep up with the National Hockey League? And that is something that we do not have to worry about with Murray. We know to some degree he's an NHL goalie. It's just, you know, can he be consistent for us? Because, again, you don't know what's going to be happening with Anthony Stolarz. Like, I'm really, really hoping that everything is fine with him. But I know he's just getting like a scope procedure to remove a small, pebble, quote unquote, from his knee. But you never know, man. We might see a resurgence of Murdog this year. You know, we very well might. Anyways, I am going to leave this video there. If you guys can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye.